Hello, guys.
Hello.
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 Tout le monde va bien?
Ça va.
Parfait.
Hâte d'être à demain.
Ah, ça va être sympa demain. Ça va être sympa.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe demain?
On organise une session de créativité. C'est une session de
belle.
co-développement. Ouais, et ça c'est par groupe de 3 startups et souvent ça permet de débloquer pas mal de problématiques, donc c'est cool.
Très cool.
Hello.
Bien.
Hello Patricia, comment tu vas?
Ça va, merci.
Bonjour.
Je suis dans une...
Salut.
Salut, salut.
Hello.
Pardon, Patricia, je t'ai coupé.
Non, non, c'est bon. Juste dans...
Ok, bon. Alors Patricia, si tu peux juste couper ton micro. I'm gonna ask everyone to
petite cabine téléphonique, là, la station F.
cut the mic. Est-ce que tout le monde peut couper le micro juste le temps de la petite présentation? Et and if you have any question, feel free to ask it in the chat. So today we have Luca and Thomas. They both are experts in SEO, and we're going to first see how to make the keyword research, and then how to make the audit of the website. Luca, if you want to start.
Yeah, sure. Thank you everyone for being here. It's good to see everyone put the video and see everyone in person, kind of. So thanks, Adrien, for inviting us. As Adrien said, basically Thomas and I, we both work for different companies, but we're good friends. And our specialty is SEO, search engine optimization. I think if you guys are here, it means you know what it means, but just in case, it's just how you would optimize your website to bring traffic directly from Google, and of course for free. So we're gonna split this into two parts. The first part, I'm gonna talk about something called keyword research, which is basically how you find keyword for your website, how you find kind of new ideas for content, and really how you do all this process. And then for the second part, Thomas will talk a bit more about how you audit a website, and he will show you a tool that's very practical. I'm just teasing a bit, so you'll see that after that. I'm gonna share my screen. Just give me a second. I'm using Google Calendar and I'm not Zoom anymore, so I'm not used to it anymore. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. So basically the tool I'm going to use today is called KWFinder. It's a tool you have to pay for. There are millions of tools to do keywords research. For me, it's really one of the best ones out there. And for information, you have 10 days for free if you subscribe. So there's no need to pay afterwards. And I think if after that you want to subscribe, you can just do it. Just giving a bit of context, in terms of search engine optimization, the first step most of the time is always at first looking at keyword research. What does it mean? It means that the first step you do is looking at what people will search for on Google. And the great thing is that you have tools to do that. So it's kind of tools to read in the mind of someone else, which is kind of great, you know. It's finally possible today. And so basically what you will do is, based on this keyword research, you know that you need content on your website to answer to all this keyword. And I just want to give an example of I'll give the example of hotel and travel business, because I worked in that business in the past. It's a very good example for SEO. And you know, I was just doing a couple of search in Google, and if you search Hotel Paris, you will see that Booking.com, which is the leader of hotel booking, they have a specific page for hotel in Paris, you know. So here it's written like book an hotel in Paris or anything else. And same thing, if you look at Hotel London, I'm just switching page here. TripAdvisor is coming first, but then you have a page from Booking.com that's just find hotels in London, you know. And if you look at those pages, they are even personalized, because every page they'll talk a bit more. What are the best hotel with a breakfast in London? What are cheapest hotel in London? Whatever else, FAQ about hotels in London or anything else. And you can search for whatever, you know. If you live in whatever city in the world, most little city, but probably Booking has a page for that. But before that, this is just to explain, but before that, what you need to do is doing a keyword research and looking at what people might search for. So we're just going to go using this tool, KWFinder. You can search by keyword here. I'll write hotel, you know, that's really just the generic keyword, the beginning. And what you do after that, so I'm going to select, let's say, France. And actually, I'm going to use United Kingdom. United States, English, in case we don't understand French. So basically, you just search for hotel, the tool is preparing the drink, and here the great thing is that the tool will give millions of IDs just around this keyword hotel, you know. So it's loading a bit. I don't have the best internet here, but obviously here we have millions of search, you know, so the tool will give different information. It will give the keyword, the number, the average search volume per month, but also the KD, which is the keyword difficulty. It's just a metric that will say how difficult it is to rank for this keyword. 0 means it's very easy to rank. 100 means it's very hard to rank. 0 doesn't exist in general. If you're between 20 and 40, it means you have a potential, it's potentially possible to rank. So what you have here, you know, the tool is just giving us tons of IDs. In this case, we have like hotel booking. Obviously, booking.com is also showing there. You know, the tool is just like looking at all the search that people do around these terms of hotel, and we'll find ID. That's very practical, you know, but when you look here, you can see that all these terms that are just coming out, it's very difficult to rank, you know, like if we are a startup, we have no chance to rank for hotel. Keyword difficulty is very high. Same thing, hotels near me, it's very difficult to rank, at least a bit less, but quite difficult to rank. Other keyword that they will give, like Marriott, it's like a brand of hotel. So probably if you are renting hotel, you have no reasons to rank for that. So the great thing is that the tool has a second thing that's called autocomplete. So this is just using artificial intelligence. I clicked in advance because there's like a bit of time to search for it. And basically what the tool will say is that if you have a term like hotel, I will just look at what people search and autocomplete it automatically to give you more ID. So potentially what the tool might give us now would be like Hotel Paris, Hotel London, Hotel Colmar, Hotel Strasbourg, I'm from Strasbourg, Hotel Albuquerque, Hotel Angeleno, Hotel Audrey, Chicago, Hotel Adeline. That looks like a first name, but anyway, maybe it's a city. Hotel Atlanta, and all this, you know. And based on that, you know that if you want to rank for this search term, you will need to have a page dedicated to that. And that's exactly what Booking.com, the example that I showed before, that's exactly what they did. I'm just going to scroll a bit so you guys have an idea. Hotel Chicago, Hotel del Coronado. You also have other case, like here it's talking about hotel deals. So that might be another thing you might or you want to rank for, you know. And thanks to that, so you have to know that the travel search is very competitive. So everything we see here is quite competitive, but still, you know, thanks to that, we're able to find more keywords and more IDs to write content about or anything else. The thing is that at the moment, you can see that here, it's a big list. You have to look everything in KWFinder. It's not the most practical. So after that, I'll show you how I use all the bring it directly into an Excel file, create a pivot table and all this. So that are very practical. Just the last point, you know, the tool is also guessing that some people are searching for hotel for dogs, you know, or some other people might search for hotel with breakfast. Some people might search for hotel with jacuzzi. And all this will just be here listed. So you really have a very, very big idea. So whatever the topic of your startup is, I really encourage you to use the tool like this and you'll get tons of ideas. One last point also, the tool is helping you to get questions. So here again, they are fetching keywords, so it takes a bit of time. But basically, we gave him the term of hotel, and it's just gonna give us ideas about questions that people might be searching for, you know. So sometimes it's a bit dangerous to use this because people search for questions that are surprising. But in this case, you know, you can see how many hotel rooms in Las Vegas. Maybe that's an idea of content if you want to create content on that. What hotel am I at? Well, that one, I'm not sure. It is a point to write something about it, but you know, that can also give you some ideas and be interesting. Last but not least, I'm going back to the autocomplete. So it's going to start. And what I'm going to show you also now is that from Hotel London, so, you know, we went from hotel, we used the autocomplete feature to get Hotel London. And now I'm going to search every terms that are related to Hotel London. In this case, I'm probably going to take Hotel Chicago or Hotel Albuquerque. It's Albuquerque. So, you know, I'm just using this search related keywords. And I'm going to have everything that's related to Hotel Albuquerque. So I can see that people are searching for Marriott Albuquerque, Embassy Suites Albuquerque, Hotel Chaco Albuquerque, La Quinta Albuquerque. That's probably just a name for a hotel. That's my guess. Hyatt Regency Albuquerque. Whatever else, you know, here you just have tons of ID. So you guys have no excuse for, you cannot say, I don't have an idea for something to write or for a page to create. Everything is there. Again, as said, here the problem is that you're in front of a tool where you have millions of search, millions of IDs, so it gets a bit difficult to use that, you know. So my process, and that's a process I use for every company I'm auditing, every company I'm helping for, would be to download all these keywords. So you have this export feature here. You can export to CSV. Then I just open a Google Sheet. In this case, I did it already. If you prefer to use Excel, you can do it. I'll import this directly here. I'll upload it. And you know, then once you get to Excel or to Google Sheet, OpenOffice, whatever, you get to a format where the data is a bit more usable, you know, so you will see. Here, I even get more data than what I had because I have the search volume for every month since 2015. So that can be an opportunity to see if a search is growing, you know. In this case, I'm just gonna take this out because otherwise we have too many information for what we are doing today. There we go. And you know, here I have all the keywords now. What I do in general at this moment is that I'll try to categorize all this. So in this case, I'm not going to categorize 700 keywords because that's too much. And here we really just want to give an example. But you know, the term Hotel Albuquerque is just like a generic term. So I'll just generic. Marriott Albuquerque, I'll just add brand because Marriott is a brand, you know. So I'm just trying to categorize all this. And then based on that, I can really have an idea, a bit more of an idea of what could be the priorities for me. Also here at the moment, I'm having keyword with a very high search volume, so they're probably very competitive. What's interesting to do is searching for other keyword that might be a bit less competitive. So, you know, I can see here that people are searching for hotel with kitchen Albuquerque, Hotel Albuquerque in Old Town. So they are looking for a specific neighborhood. And this can also give other ideas for a keyword. And actually, I'll go back to London in booking.com. I'll use Paris actually because I'm in Paris. And I'll just search for Hotel Paris 18th arrondissement. And you can see again here that they have a specific page for it. So apparently they thought about it before me, but yeah, you know, that's how you learn. So yeah, basically here, you know, you can have like just a lot of ID, and based on that, basically what I would do, I will not help in this case, but you could draw a map and have more of an ID about what kind of keyword, what kind of categories are searched for around a specific term. So I really encourage you, and that's actually the exercise you should do after that, to go for Keyword Finder, use the tool, try to search for the generic keywords for your startup and try to generate as many keywords as possible. At the beginning, I really advise to not set any limits and really just play with the tool and try to have as many ideas as possible. And at the end, you can always remove all the duplicates from Keyword Finder. I think that's a very easy thing to do. I will just add the last point is that you can also search by domain, by domain. So for example, in this case, we'll search for booking.com. And actually, you can do the same. If you have a competitor, if you have a big company competing you or whatever else, you can just use that to see where they are ranking at the moment. And this is another technique to get a lot of ideas from Keyword Finder. So it's just loading for a minute. And here, well, obviously people are searching for booking, booking.com, booking. Actually, in Spain, apparently people have some trouble to write it the right way. So here it's just like brand search. So it's not giving us a lot of information. I'll try to go a bit deeper, just select France and see if there are maybe some more ideas. So you see that people search for réserver hotel, which means book an hotel, and booking.com is showing there. It's a bit less competitive. That can be an interesting term. Well, booking logo, eventually that's not very important. So most of it, they are searching for book an hotel online, hotel reservation website, hotel booking website. So you can have some idea and you can always repeat the same process. For example, here it's just a keyword called find an hotel, and eventually you can search related keywords. And again, we will have a lot of other ideas of keywords. And you can just repeat this process over and over and get as many ideas for your startup as possible. And as said, for Google, the more pages you will have, the more keywords you will try to rank for, the more traffic you will have afterwards. It's not exactly right, actually, the specification, but at the stage you are in, I think you can really go for it, And same thing here, I search for find an hotel and I'll autocomplete it. I kind of guess what will come here, probably find an hotel in Paris, find an hotel in London, find an hotel in Albuquerque, find an hotel in Chicago, whatever else, we'll probably discover it, but that's just how you can play over and over with the tool to have as many ideas of content as possible. And there you go, find an hotel near me, find an hotel nearby, find an hotel with jacuzzi. This just gives you tons of ideas for landing pages or for a blog article that you might create. I think that's pretty much it for the tool, Keyword Finder. I think if you can already leverage all this information, you're ready to go for Thomas' presentation now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Luca.
Thank you, Lucas.
Before going with Samba, if we have any question, we have a bit of time. You can ask your question to Luca.
Yes, it's Caroline. Thank you, Luca. I did not understand the ranking. 88, 66. Can you re-explain this, please?
Yes, sure. So I'll share again. Actually, it's always better to see so everyone is on the same page. There we go. So it's actually not the ranking, but it's written KD, it's keyword difficulty. Basically what it is, that was created by a company called Moz, and basically it's from 0 to 100. 100 being, it's very difficult to rank because the websites that are there are very competitive. 0 being, it's easy to rank there. So it's like a metric for keyword difficulty. Is it a bit more clear, Carly?
So, for example, since we are all in fashion, if we take the word fashion, which is very generic, it would be 100.
So it's never 100 exactly, but there is a fair chance for a very generic keyword like that you have big company competing for this term. So it might be very competitive indeed. Yeah.
So you encourage us to find keywords which are less generic, right?
Yeah, and less competitive particularly. Also because you are at a stage where actually the keyword fashion, well, it's in French and any language. So take that with des pincettes, as we say in French. But basically, in general, it tends to be that if you go for keywords that are long tail, potentially a bit longer, it will be less competitive than a very generic keyword like this one. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
Yes, Ariane speaking. I have a question regarding, sorry, I have a broken voice. I hope you can still hear. I have a question regarding the keywords. So for example, here you have fashion and textile museum. Do we need to use this exact set of words in this order, or can we use them around in our text, for example?
So I think that there are, once you have a keyword like that, this is just the keyword research, and it's there to give you an indication. Based on this keyword, obviously you want to rank for this term. And you have two possibilities to rank for it. You have one possibility that would be to create a landing page, just a page with a bit of content and potentially some commercial intent or whatever. And then you have a second possibility that is to create a blog article. So for example, Fashion and Textile Museum. What I would see is an article like the 10 best fashion and textile museum in the world. So you're using the keyword, but you're using it in a sense where you want it to be interesting for the user and for the final user. And actually, the technique I would use, if I want to rank for this term, fashion and textile museum, is I would look at the SERP. SERP means search engine results page. And I would see what's just coming out here. And so I click on analyze SERP. Sorry, I have to move the... And here I would see what comes up with on Google from that to have more of an idea. What you see is that there's a fashion and textile museum in London that's actually coming first. So you have a fair chance that people are directly searching for that, because then it's coming the Wikipedia page, then the fashion and textile museum, then opinions about fashion and textile museum. So probably people, it's just a brand terms that people might search for, but if you want to write on that, and if that's a keyword that's important for you to rank for, that doesn't mean that you have to use it millions of times in your content, but that means that's the target keyword, and that's the one you use the most, basically.
Okay, thanks.
And I think the Hotel Paris is a good example, because here, like basically Hotel à Paris is present in the page title. So that's called the page title. It's some meta information. It's present here. That's called H1. It's present here. And then if you go below at the content, it's hotel, most booked hotel in Paris last month, best breakfast in Paris, best hotel with breakfast in Paris. So, this keyword is always there. And that's basically how you should behave with that. Was that clear for you, Ariane?
Yes, perfect, thanks.
Hi, guys. I have another. So it means that it's better to include a lot of keywords that may interest people who are searching for special words in our content. So that's the main objective.
I think basically when you want to rank for a specific keyword, like this, you need to use this keyword somewhere,
Oh.
So my advice is that you should use this keyword in what I call the SEO basics. SEO basics is the URL that you see here, you know, while in this case you have Paris present here, you know. It's also what we call the page title. That's just an indication you give to your website, and that's present here. Page title is also present in Google. I'll just show you, you know, that's the page title. Oh, sorry, just say that's the page title. Same thing here, you have the meta description, and your keyword should be present in the meta description. Actually, that's the case, Hotel à Paris here. And then obviously your keyword needs to be present in the content because you want to make it clear to Google and to the reader that they search for hotel in Paris and that's exactly what they got, you know, on your website. But that doesn't mean that you just have to insert it like randomly, you know, it still needs to make sense. Today, Google is smart, people that are reading your website are smart. So you're gonna use it, but you have to keep in mind that you have to use it in a natural language, you know?
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, thanks.
And yeah, if we don't have any more questions for Luca, maybe you can switch for the Thomas part. And at the end, if you don't have any question, you can ask it in the chat or even at the end of the workshop.
All right, should I go?
Let's go.
Go for it.
Yeah, thanks, Luca, for that. That was so clear. Now we will move on a part that is a bit less funny because it's the technical part in SEO, but we will try to make it funny. As you know, there is 3 pillars in SEO you need to look after. First, the content part, which we see it with Luca, with mainly the SEO keyword research. Then we got the popularity part. It will mainly be all about the backlink strategy you're going to put around your website so you can get links from other websites. And the last one is the technical part, when you need to correct all your technical mistakes so it can correspond with the Google algorithm. Today, there is more than 200 criteria set by Google, and most of them are about technical parts. So if you type on Google, what are the 200 criteria Google, you can find the list. And I also created a list with Live Mentor, so you can have all the prioritization of these different technical parts, and I will send it to you afterward. Before going on the presentation of Screaming Frog, which is a tool that is only dedicated for the technical part, I will briefly introduce myself. So I'm Thomas. I'm currently the head of SEO for Live Mentor, which is a school in France for entrepreneurs. So we are giving training in different aspects of digital marketing. And besides that, I'm also I got also my company where I'm doing consulting in SEO for other startups. But for now, we're gonna talk about the tool. So I'm gonna share you my screen. There is one thing which is very cool with this tool is that we have a free limit of 500 URLs, which means that if your website is not that big, you can crawl all your URL and knows what are the exact problem. And by fixing all these problems, your technical note will improve, and then your ranking will go up as well. So let me show you my screen. I'm not sure to know where is it exactly, because I'm more a fan of Google Meet.
C'est juste en dessous, il y a une barre avec un bouton vert.
Yeah, the most important one, and I can't see it. Yep. So I'm gonna show you after the prioritization board that I made. But first, let's have a first look on the platform. So this has a bit. Can you see my screen now with the tool?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. I'm trying to make it bigger. So this tool has a bit nerdy design. So it's not the best UX experience, but today it's definitely the best tool you need to use. In Live Mentor, we only use 2 tools to monitor SEO. The first one is Ahrefs, where we can do the content and the popularity part. And the last one is Screaming Frog for the technical part. So here on Screaming Frog, you just put here the URL of your website. So I took the one of Station F because I didn't have any idea what to put in. So I use that one, and it will take like 10 minutes to crawl the entire website as the Google robot could do it. And it will show you all the problem you have. So there is a lot. If you can see here on the right part. So here they just make an update recently, last month. So they make the information in French. 1 month ago, it was full English. So it's maybe better because there is a lot of technical words. But if we go on, not all of them will be useful for you. And some of them will be easier to work on. So you won't need like an SEO specialist. And other will be more difficult because it can engage more problem if you do it wrong. That's why I create this prioritization board. But what is interesting for us when you drop that, there is like maybe 4 or 5 categories that you need to look for. So let's start with the easiest one, and the one that you can set up without being an SEO consultant. So here is about the meta that was Luca was introducing before. So here you can know for every page you have, so for every keyword you target, you need to write the specific meta description. So there is the meta title, which is the title that appear on the Google result. We got the meta description. We got the H1, which is the title that appear in the content. When you click on the link, boom, there is the title in the content. And then the H2, H3, H4, which are the subtitle basically of your content. And then also the last one is the URL. And in all these specific parts, you need to put, they are all strategic parts where you need to put your keywords in. But this is more about content. What we're gonna see is the rules we have for these different meta. So here we got the title of the page. So the one you have in Google. So here we can see that there is no content where there's no title tag within. So all of them got one, so that's a good part. But if we go down, we can see that up here is more than 60 characters. There is a rule in SEO where a SEO title can be longer than 60 characters. Otherwise, the content will be cropped in the result. You will get like 3 points and you won't be able to see the complete title on the SERP. So it's very important to make it between 55 and 60 characters. It's very important. Then here we get the one that are less than 30 characters. We need to have a medium. Like, of course, it can be up than 60, but it won't. You can be down than 30 characters. It's very important. This is about the pixel. Well, it's pretty much the same that the character, because sometimes some words are bigger than others. For example, the M. So it can take into consideration the pixel. So because, for example, if you add like big words with long words, like it can be longer even if you are under 60. So it's very important. And here we can see that there is a lot of title that should be optimized because Google take it into consideration. So it's very important. That's things that you can clearly work, because here, if you click on it, it will spot you all the title. There is the link, there is a title, there is a link, the title. And then you just need to go on your CMS, WordPress, Shopify, Webflow, whatever, and fix this SEO title. So as I told you, the SEO title is a bit different than the H1. So there is a specific part as well for H1 that we're gonna see after. And we see here, it's recommended to have different SEO title than a H1. A lot of people that never did SEO before use the same SEO title and the same H1. The H1 can be a bit longer. For the H1, you can go between 60 and 75 characters. That's why I usually add some variation, some keywords like or maybe case study in 2021. I add some variation in this keyword. Or for example, if it's an interview, I will add the name of the people that I interviewed. So I make it a bit more complete. So this is the H1, and there is only, this is crucial, only one H1 per content. If you get more than one H1 per content, Google will not be happy. So you can have several H2, H3 because it's subtitled, but only H1. And it will show you if you got multiple H1 in your content, and this tool will give it to you. So first, it's all about the SEO title. Then if we go down, we get the meta description. The meta description is the text in the SERP that appear just below the SEO title. Now, when you do a research, you get the SEO title and then the description about what you're gonna find in this content. So for the meta description, it should be between 150 and 155. And here we can know the same for the SEO title. Here there is 2 links where it's missing. Here there is what it's called doublon in French. It means that you use the same meta description for different content, which is seen as duplicate content for Google. Well, meta description is not a big factor of SEO ranking because most of the time it's Google himself that will decide for you. But you need to have a look on your meta description, and it has a crucial impact on your CTR, because the meta description is interesting and gives you the will to read the content, the more click you're gonna have in your content. And sometimes just a clear title, there is a lot of technique to make it appealing, but it's very, very, very important to mention it. And here we see that we have a lot of meta description that are below than 70 characters, which are like not almost nothing for meta description. And here it's pretty much the same than this one, but you need to fix that one. And exactly the same, just take the link. Here is the meta description, and same, you just go on your CMS and update your meta description to make it more complete. In this meta description, I recommend you use the main keyword also, but some of SEO experts recommend to use a secondary keyword, like synonymous keyword that can help Google to understand your content. Here we get the meta keyword. So the keyword is what Lucas introduced to you. Here we can see that there is 40, again, doublon. That means that this content use several same keyword for different page. There is one rule in SEO where you have to use one keyword per page. There is only one exception in SEO, and Luca explained it before, is where the intent is different. When the user intent is different, you can have 2 keywords. For example, I will give you a small example. If I wrote an article on what is backlinks, and then I wrote another article on how to get backlinks, or the best strategy to get backlinks to 2021, the keyword is, main keyword backlinks is the same, but the intent is different. There is the what and the how. So you can have what we call indented resource, where you have the what and the how directly in the SERP. But most of the time, you should target one keyword per page. That's a rule. Then the H1, same than the title. The H1 can be a bit longer than the title, as I told you before, so between 60 and 70. So same, here you can see the missing one, the one that are similar, and the one that are more than 70 characters, which means that they are too big. Easy. There is something I haven't tell for the no index content, because on your website you got a lot of content which are indexed, the one you want to show to Google and the one you don't want to index. For the one which are no index, you don't need to optimize the title or the meta description or the H1, because it won't appear on Google. So it's very important to prioritize this optimization on the page that are important for you. That means the one that bring you business. So H2, same. There is no specific rule for H2. This is all the subtitle, but most of the time it needs to be same, no more than 70 characters. So, but here is very important because we see that in a lot of content, 1321, there is missing H2. And H2 is the basic if you want to have like a proper organized content. So it's very, very important to have at least 1 or 2 H2 in your content. Same, you need to, if you can, put the keywords in this H2, but not on all of them, because if you put the keyword you're targeting on all your H2, H3, H3, Google will see it as keyword stuffing. That means you're trying to you play with his algorithm, which is going to doesn't like. So I reckon to have your main keyword in at least 50 or 60% of your H2. Then we got the content part. So the content part is all about the body of your content, what you put in it. So most of the time, it will be all the content you put in your different H2, H3. And here you can see something which is very interesting. The most interesting part is this, the page with low content. In SEO, like most of the time, the long content will be easier to rank for. Not on all the requests, because there is some requests where you don't need to go up to 200 words, but most of the time, here you can see all the page who have like less than 300 words. And with 300 words, it's hard to rank on the keyword because you didn't bring enough topic deepness in your content. So it's very important to look at here. There is 42% of content of page with low content. So very important to have a look on it. So this is all about content. And then we can move on the other interesting part. So all this one, you can do it easily, not being an SEO consultant. This one is a bit harder, but you can still do it. It's for the image. The image, you know, in SEO, there is one criteria. I told you about the 200 criteria you have. There is one which is very important, is the speed load of your website. If you got a website that is too long to load, yeah, the ranking will be not as better that it could be if it was fast. So here there is a rule. All the image you got in your content, whatever is the content, page, article, whatever, it should be under 100 KO. Otherwise, it's too big. And if you put maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 images plus GIF plus video, some page will be so high, and then your speed fatness will go down. So it's very important to go on it. There is a tool that I love to optimize your image. It's called kraken.io. Just have to put it on the tool and it will optimize it. But for me, on the website, on a WordPress website, I use a plugin which is called Imagify. Today, it's the best to improve your images, the size of your images. Then this is a bit technical, but you won't have to look at it on the priority. And when you will do it on your own, you just have to take the board I will send you so you can compare it. Okay, I'm here, it's a priority 3, so I need to work on it first. It's very important. In SEO, the prioritization is very important because there is not the only thing that you have to work on it. So it's very important that you prioritize. A lot of SEO agency will just give you a list of 200 keywords, a list of 200 technical problems to solve, but without any prioritization. And you're like, in face of a big mountain and you don't know where to start. The most important in SEO is to prioritize. This month I do 2 things, and the last month same, but at the end of the year I know that everything is done. So it's very important to prioritize the project. If we go down, what we have interesting as well, there's no problem here about the structural learning. This is about your sitemaps. So it's the files that you send to Google. You can do it on Google Search Console where it contains all the links on your website. This is all about the page speed, but it's a bit more technical. The one you should really look on it is the first one we show for the first time. Afterward, it's getting more complicated. For example, JavaScript. Here contain a link with JavaScript, no follow balise that contain only HTML. So for that, you need a guy that is trained for SEO. Otherwise, it will be hard and you will lose so many time. So for all the ones, all the last one, they are more technical, you see. For example, here, all about the page speed, how you use the tool, for example, to minify the JavaScript and the CSS. I use a plugin which is called WP Rocket, which helps you a lot for that, and it's very, very good for that. But all of this, yeah, it's a bit more technical. So you can see all of that, and there is a last point I want to show you, which is very important, a bit more technical, but not that much than the last one. It's the top one, going up. It's about these two one, response code and URL. So we talk about SEO title, H1, H2, meta description. The last one is the URL. So the URL is the link that allow you to access in the content. And here, what we have. So we know that we have for this website 2,993. That's because I got the paid version. Otherwise, you only have the possibility to see 500. But here we see that there is no non-ASCII character. This is very good. Non-ASCII character is URL that contain number, that contain specific characters like the trait, or like, for example, I don't know, the chapeau, or the different specific stuff you have on your computer that Google don't like it. All about the number, all about the parameters. So a URL need to be very clear. In all the URL of the blog post of Live Mentor, you will see that most of them, it's mostly the keywords. So http livementor/blog/ optimiser-vitesse/chargement. Always the keyword, like backlink strategy or internal linking. It's always simple. Don't, if the URL is more than like 5, 6, 7 words, it will be too hard for Google to interpret it, and it will not be good for the ranking, because Google take into consideration the 3 first words of your URL, and if your keyword is at the end, it will be bad. So here we can see that there is 206 URL that contain MAJ. This is bad. We need to fix it. Same for that, and same here. We got like 67 URL that contain more than 105 characters. You see, this is very big. Here, this is not clean, because there is too many here. There is numbers, there is like a specific word, there is a MAJ, no MAJ. So this needs to be very clean. And the last one that I'm going to show you today is, just go up here, the response code. So the response code is all about the error code you got. So you got the 301 for the redirection, the 404 for, you know, all of them, what is about when the page is broken, and the 505, which is about regarding your problem with your server. So here we know that we got 23, for example, pages that are blocked by a TXT robot. This means that this content can appear on Google, it can be indexed, but everything in your content, like image, video, links, everything that is not HTML won't appear. So it's bad for the user experience. Here is the success. We should have all the page in success, 2xx. That means that it's working perfectly. And here, like, we got most of them, like 90%. Most of the time, you should be around 100% here. Here you got the 301 redirection. These ones are not that bad because, for example, when you delete a content, you need to redirect it to the new content or content that is related to. Otherwise, if you don't make this redirection, the old content will be lost in Google and still indexed and still going for 404 as you delete it. So you have to say that Google, okay, this old content doesn't exist anymore, and I want to redirect it to this new content. And this is called 301 redirection. But what is important to know about that is that if you have too many 301 redirection inside of your link of your website, that could create a redirection chain. Well, it's a level up. So we can maybe see that on the next part. But the most important part you need to fix is the 404, because that one has broken. So here we know that we got 20 pages that are broken, not found. All these that you are not found. So you have to check them and to redirect them to the content you want to send the traffic. And here, well, this is very rare because basically you don't have a lot about that, but just have a look on it. And here you can check what I told you. For example, if I take this link, I just remove this part, and you go on inbound links, you know exactly where this link is in your content. So for example, this link, launch SEO core legal privacy, is presented in this URL. This one is on that tree one. So it helps you to see which page contains the problem. And the board I'm going to send you will help you to optimize these different points. That's all for now. I think we see all the most important part of this tool. Here you get like, yeah, you can have the graph, so it can be better for you, so you can have a look. But you can see that here is pretty good. But yeah, there is more technical stuff, but it's not the point of this meeting. I hope it was clear for you. And if you have any question, just feel free to share it.
Thank you so much, Thomas. That was really interesting. Yes, do we have any question?
Yes, Caroline, I have 2 questions, please. The first one is regarding the special characters you mentioned. For example, my brand is called Décidé. So for you, if I write Décidé-Paris, it's worse than Décidé.com, which would be easier.
You mean with the accent, right?
No, without the accent, but tiré du 6.
Yeah, yeah. The trait, the tiré du 6, all the words you have in the URL are separated with a trait, with a tiré du 6. So you get the URL. So you get the first part of the URL, which is your domain name. So for us, it's like https://livementor. And then you got what we call the slug. The slug is what you put on your CMS. And the slug need to contain your keyword. So for example, it will be your domain / your keyword, which can be separated by a trait. So there is no problem using this, no problem.
No, it was not my question. Maybe I'm not clear. My question is my URL. Is it better if it is décidé.com or décidé-du-6paris.com?
It depends on the keyword you targeted in this content. What was the main keyword in this content?
Décidé.
I think that's just the homepage.
Yeah, it's your homepage, right?
Yes, I will. Yes, it will be homepage. Yes, but it's the main URL. And I'm wondering whether it's better to add this Paris or just décidé.com, which is easier to understand.
Yeah. For the brand name, I always reckon to only keep your brand name always.
Okay,
whatever
that's
it is. Always. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And second question, for the landing page, I'm building the graphic of the landing page. Is it better Google-wise to implement a graphic which has been done by a graphist and I just have to plug the artwork, or is it better to do it myself, drag and drop, block by block? Is there an SEO difference between 2 options?
Not really. What is the CMS you currently using?
I'm giving up WordPress and I will go for Doric, which is easier.
You go for what? Sorry?
Doric.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the drag and drop won't be problematic for you, but there is one thing that is important to keep in mind. Every time you add an image in your content, anytime, you need to rename these files, because sometimes, and we did this mistake a lot in Live Mentor before. Like we was just like taking a screenshot. So it was written capture d'écran-2006-2010 Orléans, whatever, and we just put it in the content. And then it's considered as non-ASCII character because all the image files are considered by links. So every time I put a content, I just rename it and I just put 2 words in this content in Maj. So for example, if it's like a screenshot of me speaking, I will just put Thomas -6 SEO. And then I will put it, and not having like a screenshot 2020 with the time. And it's very, very important to change the name. But the process is not the same. As long as it's renamed and as long as you optimize the size of this image on Kraken or on other tool, I'm sure there is like specific plugin for your CMS. It's all good.
But I was told that if I plug the final for the landing page, the final artwork from a specialist in graphism, it's not as good in SEO wise.
I think the second option is better. Yeah.
Drag and drop and do it myself.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Is there any other question? I know that this is not the funniest part of SEO. Even for me, like I'm more specialized in net linking and content, but it's very, very, very important to work on it. And it's better to do it at the beginning, because the more you do it early in the process, the less you will have problem at the end. And what we did bad is we accumulate a lot of technical problem, and at the end it's like a calvaire to fix all of this. It's so hard, it's so long, it takes so much time. So I reckon to install this tool at the very beginning, it will be very useful for you for the resident term of your SEO.
Hello, Ariane speaking.
Yeah.
I have a question. I changed template recently, well, 1 year ago.
Yeah.
And with the new template, I have no H1 title. I only have title.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm struggling because I don't know anything like technical to do the change myself. So do you have any contact, like a freelancer who are specialized in like SEO and WordPress, who could, any freelancer advice?
Yeah, I know a big group of SEO consultants. So yeah, if you have, I don't know how it works for this kind of demands, Adrien. But yeah, I can weaken some people to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, otherwise, Ariane, Luca and Thomas are also experts in SEO, so you can see with them, or even you can ask to different freelancers.
But you can do stuff. I mean, other than just talk to us and explain about it, you can help us out on some problems.
Yeah, we do stuff as well. The only problem is the time, because we got like both of them a lot of projects to lead. But if I organize myself, I can work on projects as well.
Okay, so well, we'll keep in touch anyway. So just offer also some freelancer contact. Thanks.
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Other people are interested in the freelancer contact. Actually, I see.
Yeah. Any other question? Well, it will be easier for you when you're gonna. I don't know where I can send this board, this prioritization board, Adrien.
If you want, you can send it to me, and then I can send it to
the others. What I want you to do after is like download this tool, put it here, your URL, and run a crawl. It would take like maybe between 10 and 15 minutes, and then you will have all these results. And after, you just have to take this board close to you and just look on it and have a look on the stuff you can fix.
Yeah, that's really nice, because for the second session, we will make 2 groups. So the one with Luca for the keyword research, and the second one with Thomas for the website audit. And what we have to do is first make the keyword research at home, and then going with Luca to see how it works, how is it. And the same things for the audit. If you can make it at home before the second session, and then for the second session, we can see and have some feedbacks from Thomas and Luca. So between this session and the second session, please make some homework, and then we can improve your SEO.
Just one question regarding a streaming frog. Is it free, or do we need to pay for that?
Yeah, there is the free limit is for 500 URL. So with the free version, it's gonna crawl 500 URL. So if your website is lower than 500, you will have all the URL. But if you got a big website, it won't be enough to get all the URL. But the the tool is very cheap. I think is something like $7 or $9 per month, but it saves your life. So it's a good investment.
Okay.
And for info, Screaming Frog is a software, so you download it.
Yeah. You need to download it on your computer. Hard, yeah, good one.
And, yeah. And KWFinder is online, but yeah, both they have like some free version, and most probably it should be enough for you at the moment, and surely enough to do the homework for next week.
All right. Do we have maybe one last question before ending this workshop? Right, it was quite clear, guys. It looked like it was really clear. So thank you very much, Luca and Thomas. Thank you very much. So for the next session, please work on your keyword research and on your audit. And if you do have any question, you can always send a message to Luca and Thomas. So thank you very much, everyone. And I hope to see you for the next workshop.
Thank you, guys. It was great. Thank you, Adrien, for being amazing.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. That was cool. Looking forward for the next one.